Warning, the following audio transmission is based on theory and is intended for entertainment purposes only. It's Doomsday and its affiliates will not be held liable for anything your dumbass does. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everybody, to It's Doomsday podcast. Joining me today on the show is my lovely co-host, Local Prepper. How are you, sir?
I'm lovely.
You are. You're a very lovely individual. I don't care what they say about you.
Who's that?
Well, they are talking. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course they're talking, man. There's been a lot of new things going on, and yeah, I mean, so they're going to talk. Haters are going to hate.
Haters going to hate. That's correct. And do you know what they're talking about?
Long-term food storage.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's show is long-term food storage.
See, I pay attention.
Yeah. And it's kind of a dry topic, and that's kind of a pun on things because, you know, storing dry goods. This is where you're supposed to laugh.
Ha 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 ha! Dry goods are so funny.
There you go. Thank you for that. So I got to ask, So I mean, there's tons of different preservation methods, and there's a lot of food items out there that don't require much for long-term storage. But I'd like to know, what is your favorite long-term storage item?
My favorite long-term storage item is rice, because you can do so many things with rice. I literally just watching some videos yesterday about different ways to actually can rice and do it in a way that it already has. You know how they make like the rice flavor packs? It's like you buy this rice and you cook it in whatever's and it already tastes like chicken or it's creamy or stuff like that. Well, apparently you can actually can that yourself. So if you're doing that, then you don't even need Mylar bags or vacuum sealing or anything like that. You can literally just can your own rice.
So that's new to me. I haven't heard that one yet, but I started seeing people a couple years ago utilize, and you may have seen these videos because we interacted with a lot of the same creators. There were people out there putting things like rice and other items in mason jars and using makeshift vacuum sealers out of brake bleeders. And they were brake bleeding all the oxygen out of these jars, and they were canning things like rice, like dry canning.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen that.
And then I actually had went out and purchased the dry canner attachment for my vacuum sealer. So I do have the capability of dry canning now.
Yeah, I mean it's a definite thing. I mean I have one myself, but I mean I think it's a great idea. I would just be cautious if you guys are going to go out there and use the vacuum line for or the vacuum pump for brake seals. Those things are extremely strong, and you could actually like implode a glass jar with it. So kind of just be aware. Be very aware.
Yeah, you don't want to have an Ocean Gate situation happen in your pantry.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, no, it'll literally happen like while you're doing it. People have gone too far with them, and like they're in the process of squeezing the handle, and boom, the glass will just implode. It's designed. Right. It's not designed to handle pressure going out. It's designed to handle pressure going in.
Right. I get what you're saying. Well, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking the process of canning. You have these jars in this pressure canner, and they're getting pressure from all these different ways. You get pressure on the outside, pressure on the inside, and they actually, I don't know the whole scientific process of how it works, but as you're pressurizing those cans, you're actually creating a vacuum on the inside of those cans, which is like a very strange thing, but it's very interesting how that works. But I'll tell you what, my prerogative on long-term long-term storage items has drastically changed in the last couple of years. I was the type of guy that would just vacuum seal anything with an oxygen absorber and call it a day. And I was really good for doing things like pastas, because pasta vacuum sealed, and I would do everything, regular spaghetti, macaroni noodles, whatever, because I have an area where I can acquire these things in bulk. And, vacuum seal bags are not really expensive if you're buying them by the roll. Oxygen absorbers, if you're getting them on bulk from, say, Amazon, aren't that expensive. And you can just kind of go to town with these things. But I had since kind of strayed more away from that, because I found what happens with the spaghetti noodles and the macaroni noodles, things like this, is when they are vacuum sealed, you get little pressure points against the noodles, and they're sharp, and they will eventually wear through the bags, and everything you did work-wise for preservation is just getting wasted. So the same thing happens with rice, because rice is very pointy. And a lot of times I'd say probably once a month I go and check the rice. I've got like a big old, it's like a 32 gallon, one of those totes that you can buy at Walmart. It's got the black body and the yellow lid. This thing is just full to the top with vacuum sealed rice. And so I have to go and check it like once a month and make sure, oh, by the way, you're still vacuum sealed, because little pinholes will appear in the bag. It does happen. So there's a lot of other things I've learned in the last couple of years as far as the long-term stuff goes. And that's like, I'm starting to move away from storing canned goods. What I had found out is I'm not capable of rotating these enough. Like, I don't eat canned goods on a regular day. So I'm not one that's pulling out a can of carrots, a can of beans. I'm not eating this way. So I come to find that I'm wasting more in the long run stacking up canned goods just because they expire, they go bad, or I'm getting past the best by dates by a few years. And it's like, okay, this has to go now. And I never got to use it. And it's not something I'm eating regularly enough to rotate. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, this has changed my perspective a lot on what I should be storing.
So what have you moved to then? So if you're transitioning from, it sounds to me like you were primarily canned goods. If you're going to transition, what are you transitioning to?
So what I've started transitioning to is I've transitioned into a lot of beans, dry beans, pretty much just dried beans, because the dry beans, they're so dehydrated from the factory, you really don't have to worry too much. You don't have to worry a whole heck of a lot about moisture initially. So as long as you get those out of those bags, they come in from the store into a vacuum sealer with an oxygen absorber or a Mylar bag quick enough, that's almost your 25-year shelf life. And if they don't get rotated, they don't get rotated. They don't really go bad. They may lose some nutritional value, but at the end of the day, worrying about something like botulism or food poisoning or anything of the sort doesn't matter, because you're going to put these beans in a brine of salt, kill most of the bacteria with the salt, and then you're going to boil these things and kill whatever bacteria is left in these beans anyway. So if they sit in that bag for 30 years, they may not be as nutritionally dense, but you're not going to starve.
Yeah. And I've got totes that are full of beans, exactly like I told you. It's kind of like that's the prepper thing, is the rice and the beans. You can eat rice and beans for 30 days, and you'll probably you'll basically poop your guts out, but you won't die, because you'll get nutrition from it. But the beans offer, they're an excellent protein source. They're actually high in protein, and they're easy to prepare. So it's a good idea. It's a good idea. But I would also caveat people that worry about the whole botulism thing. I would say that it's good to be cautious, but I will also tell you that yesterday I ate a can of what are those little wieners in the can called?
Oh, those Vienna sausages.
Yes, Vienna.
Oh my God,
yes.
It's not real food.
I ate one. 2002. Best Buy 2002. So it's and I'm still here because that was like 2 days ago.
You were testing fate, my friend.
No, man, just use the smell test. If you open it up and it doesn't look right, don't eat it. If you open it up and it doesn't smell right, don't eat it. It's pretty simple. When in doubt, cook the crap out of it. And here's the funny thing. A lot of people that are concerned about botulism from canned goods, it's really difficult for me to place any time in my life worrying about that, because when we can, I think it's 190 degrees that our canners that we buy from Amazon and put on, we use on our stoves, that kind of thing. I think that temperature is 190 degrees. When the commercial canners, that can of soup or can of whatever else you just got from the local Piggly Wiggly, it was pressure canned at over between 250 and 260 degrees. So at 190 degrees, it's supposed to kill the botulism spores. But at 250 to 260 degrees, it's sterilizing the contents of that can. Right. So botulism isn't really a real thing anymore from the canned good perspective. But when, like you said, you've kind of figured out, and sometimes it takes us time too, like, hey, what am I really doing here? Like, oh, by the way, I bought, 4 flats of cream corn 10 years ago and I haven't touched it. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want to buy the stuff you're going to eat.
Right. And this has transitioned a lot for me. Like, I'm not buying, I used to stock up on like a lot of peanut butter. Right. Uh-huh. And I have since gotten away from that. And I started, because I'm not using the peanut butter in excess. But you know what I absolutely love? I love peanut butter powder because I throw it in my protein shakes. Right.
Yeah.
So I've started stocking up more on the peanut butter powder because I know I can rotate that quicker. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing I've done. Plus longer shelf life. I'm dealing with a powder that's preserved, that's in a jar with no oxygen. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to last for a long damn time.
Right. So that's something I've been storing. The other thing I've been storing, if I can get my hands on it in bulk, and I have a guy now that I can do this, is I've been storing more honey. Because honey, you don't really have to do anything with. And the problem is, and I will tell the listeners out there, if you are going to store honey, try to get it from an actual beekeeper where this honey's unadulterated and it doesn't have like corn syrups and sugars and different things added to it, because that's what makes that honey go bad. That's what makes it not have as long as a shelf life. But if you got some guy up in the woods somewhere that has his own apiary and his own bees, and he's, jarring his own raw honey, that's the stuff you want to store. That's the one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the golden goo. The thing that I would add about the honey is a lot of people just completely lack common sense. They go to the local whatever store, they look at the honey aisle, and they just read what's on the front of the label. I recommend you just look on the back of the label. The thing that says ingredients, where it says honey. It just says honey.
Yep.
Nothing else. And you're probably okay. But yeah, if you can get it directly from the bee's butt, man, definitely get that.
Yes, exactly. And then another thing I've transitioned into as well is I've been in, there's a lot of listeners out there that are probably saying, I can't afford that, but let me break this down because I started doing the cost analysis on this. You are better off 100% storing actual survival food. I don't care what brand, but actual freeze-dried, properly packaged survival food. You are better buying that and storing that versus buying all these canned goods and continuously rotating them, or even trying to do it yourself. I know this stuff seems like an expensive investment up front, but when you start adding up how many calories you're getting out of a survival bucket full of food versus the cost of rotating canned goods out for a 25-year period, or buying your own Mylar bags or your own freeze dryer and doing this work yourself, you're going to find at the end of the day, your life is going to be a lot easier. You're going to waste a lot less time, and you're going to have a lot less rotation or money vested. So if you can afford to right off the rip, just get the survival foods. It's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have to agree with that about 50%. And the reason is because when I first got into preparedness, I spent $2,500 on a year's worth of survival food that I still have. I tell people it's under my bed because that's where it really is. Just boxes full of, number 10 cans of freeze dried everything. And in 25 years, will it still be good? That's the question. It's not a matter of wasting the money. And then the other factors to think about too with the freeze-dried food is why not rotate it? Yeah, I know it's expensive, but I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 packs of freeze-dried scrambled eggs, and I've got a couple of packs of freeze-dried hamburger and some freeze-dried sausages, and they're just sitting on the shelf like with a little window to my soul saying, "Eat me, eat me." And I'm like, no, because each one of those bags was like $12. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that it's smart to have a balanced approach instead of just going all one way. But here's what I'll say: the little thing that I don't think you're saying. I think it also has a lot to do with a person's diet as well. Right. Because I think that as we go through life, as we get a little bit older, we start to like transition from not just things that we wanted or needed, but like the way it is now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I would do that because it sounds to me like there's a diet thing going on in the background too that is changing the stuff that you used to eat to the things that you eat now.
Well, it absolutely is. And a great example of this is, so for the listeners that don't know this, if you have never heard me talk about this, you must be living under a rock. I'm on a blood type based diet. So certain things have been exiled from my diet. One of these things is potatoes and tomatoes. So Sacrilege. I've had a ton. Right. So I've had a ton of canned potatoes and canned tomato sauces and things that are not going to do me any good. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what, as crazy as this may sound, this blood type based diet has actually helped me with my preps because now I don't have to stock Tums anymore. I don't get heartburn anymore. So I don't have to, and I know that's crazy, but I don't have to stock acid tablets anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to eat aluminum anymore. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah. No more calcium carbonate for me, buddy. But that's the thing though, because I was stocking up on Tums for the shit hits the fan scenario. And now I no longer have to do that based off this new diet. And has it limited the amount of things I can stock? Yeah, it has. But at the same time, it's also transitioned my long-term food storage into some different things. Like now I have a lot more canned chicken. I have a lot more tuna fish. I have a lot more canned green beans, so it's transitioned. I still have food storage. I still have food stock. And also at the end of the day, in doing this diet transition, I've actually been more comfortable with eating less calories throughout the day because I'm eating for my blood type, I'm getting more nutrition out of the food I'm consuming. It's less empty calories. So I can consume 500 to 600 calories a day and feel fine. As before, I needed 2,000 or more because my body's not processing these foods correctly. So it's it's been a very interesting transition to say the least.
Yeah. And I mean, generally your diet will dictate what you want to eat. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm probably saying that wrong too, because I mean, we all want to things. What do you do about, not to get too far out of there, but what prep do you have to take care of your cravings?
Oh, well, I mean, the biggest craving I think that hits, not in an apocalyptic scenario is the damn peanut butter. The peanut butter has been the go-to, man. Anytime I got that sweet sugary craving, peanut butter. And the honey. So, I mean, and those are two things I'm stocking that are in the blood type based diet that I can have.
I gotcha.
So it's working.
I gotcha. And as long as you're eating your, I hate to say this, but as long as you're eating your preps, I tell people to eat your preps, I'm looking at multiple cans of Viennese sausages over there going, I want some. But, I guess, if we getting back on point, what the other way that I'm really looking at doing preps now is fermenting. Have you done anything on that or looked at any of that stuff?
You know, the only thing I've really done, if I'm being 100% honest, is I've done the fermented garlic and the honey, like the antibiotic style, the medicinal one.
Yeah.
But that's really about it. Like, I'm not over here making vinegar or wines or doing like I'm not making like kimchi. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not making anything fermented.
I gotcha. Well, the reason I bring it up is because it's kind of like it's almost like a lost art that's extremely simple to do. You literally just put food sources and ingredients in a jar and let it set. You know, there are some magical stuffs where, like a spring that keeps it under the liquid, or things to add to the cap. Sometimes they call it a weight. But the benefits, the health benefits are, your body's going to be getting beneficial bacteria, and there's a lot. And it's very flavorful, obviously, like you said, the kimchi, or maybe you make some sauerkraut or something else. But it also provides probiotics, which almost no survival food has. After you've canned it, after you've mixed it, after you baked it, fire roasted it, whatever it is, or even freeze dried. There's no probiotics can't survive. The bacteria can't survive. This is one way of actually doing that.
I'm just kind of curious because, like, now you got that is something I had not thought about. So I'm kind of wondering, what about like your freeze dried dairy products, like your powdered milks and things?
Well, I use those. Believe it or not, I use 2 scoops of freeze dried. Milk, freeze-dried milk. And when I make my spaghetti sauce, because it absorbs all the oil. But so you end up getting to keep all that oil in your spaghetti sauce. And that's just a little trick I do. But those are all solid products. I guess if you're talking about the milk, the key thing is, there's 2 different types. One actually still has the fat in it. And with the freeze-dried, it removes the fat, so it will last like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But they say that you're not supposed to, with the ones that have the fat in it. It's basically almost like a milk formula for babies, but that will only last 6 months to a year after you open it. But I wouldn't let that sit on the shelf for more than 3 years.
Well, so what I started doing in the realm of preps, like I said, with this blood type based diet and everything transitioning, is I started buying a lot of low fat powdered goat's milk.
Oh, and wow. Okay.
And I will use that over regular milk just on the daily. And how it was kind of an accidental thing that happened. I was utilizing goat's milk. Goat's milk is not cheap compared to regular milk. But the powdered form is, because you're adding your own water and you're getting more length out of your money. Like, it's going further, and then you don't have to worry about the expiration. So
I gotcha.
I'm getting about, I would say, just off the top of my head here, I'm getting about a gallon of milk out of a pack of powder, or more than a gallon. And it's costing me less than what a gallon would cost me if I were to go buy it.
That's interesting.
So, and it has a longer shelf life, because your half gallon of goat's milk for the regular one is running about $6. The bag of powdered goat's milk is running me like $8, $9 in some places, and I'm getting about a gallon or more out of that bag.
And how many? So it's like $8 per bag, or is it?
Yeah, it's like $8 to $9 per bag.
Okay,
per bag. And then scoops, it's like 2 scoops equals 8 ounces of milk.
Okay.
So you scoop it out of there, you make 8 ounces at a time. And I think the whole bag equates to being like right over a gallon. But there's also there's no real shelf life. Like, I'm not putting a gallon in the fridge for it to expire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest problem I have with milk.
Right. So that's why I've gotten more into the goat milk thing, and it's extremely easy to do. I grab my 8 ounces of water, I put 2 scoops in it, I mix it up, bam, I have 8 ounces of milk. Put it in the coffee, put it in the cereal, whatever I need to do, seal up the bag, it goes in the cabinet. If I don't touch it for 3 weeks, okay, it's still going to be good when I need it.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I do, like I said, I do similar things with the powdered milk, but I don't like make. I think I made powdered milk one time for the girlfriend because she wanted to have. I didn't buy any milks for her to eat her cookies with, and she doesn't like eating cookies without milk, so I had to make some.
Gotcha. I mean, that makes sense. You know, the whole cookies and milk thing. I like cookies and milk.
Hey, what about pickling? Have you done any pickling? Because that's a thing actually. And I'm not talking about making pickles.
I have I've made pickles before, and I can't say. I'm trying to think how I put this. They were good, all right. But I'm not out here like pickling mass amounts of stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say that like I've done the peppers before. Made the pickles before, and I don't have a stock of these things. If I had to do it, I've got the pickling salts. I have those things here, and the main reason is that is a prep of mine. Like I've got the jars, I've got the pickling salts. If we grow a garden, I've got the canner and the water bather, so I could do this if I need to. It's just something I'm not currently employing.
I gotcha. I love it because it doesn't take barely any work whatsoever. You know, I literally will make just a vinegar brine with like jalapenos and some different spices. And then I'll drop like 5 or 6, hard boiled eggs in there and let them sit for at least 2 or 3 days. Good. Chop it up, put it on a salad, or just eat the eggs just cuz. And now here's the magical thing about that brine. As long as you washed thoroughly, like in this case, the eggs, before you dropped it into that brine literally just kills all sorts of bad stuff anyway. But I just reuse the brine over and over. I'm on my 3rd one. I made some this morning. They're sitting in the fridge right now. Just shake it up. It's full of jalapeno goodness. And yeah, pickling is good. Pickling is good.
So I'm going to tell you something. This may end our friendship. I cannot stand pickled eggs.
That's because you have not had my pickled eggs.
Well, you know what? So I've tried them, and it's not okay. I love hard boiled eggs. I eat hard boiled eggs almost every day, and I quit even boiling them myself. I'll buy them pre-boiled from the store because they sell bags of them for like $6, $7.
Not a bad idea.
And I buy them that way because it takes all the work out of it. And if you go to Sam's Club, I was out there and they have a gigantic bag of hard-boiled eggs. And inside that bag, they're individually packaged, 2 eggs per package. And I'll buy those, grab one, walk outside with it. Like I'll eat hard-boiled eggs all day. And I like the flavor of pickling, but the texture of a pickled egg and a hard-boiled egg is different. And I cannot do the texture.
Yeah,
it's like rubber.
The very outside of it. Yeah, it can almost create, it's almost like it's hardening the outside of the egg a little bit. But yeah, that's why you slice them up and put them in salads, man.
I don't know. Maybe that's what I got to do. Maybe I have to try them on something like a salad. That's because I just can't eat them by themselves. Something I never got into. And I mean, I have had them just sampling things. I'm not really stocking though. I never really got into the freeze-dried powdered eggs. I mean, I've had them with some of the different food manufacturers out there that sell like the breakfast skillets and things like this. I've had them.
Yeah.
But I've never got the freeze-dried powdered eggs and have tried to make those. Have you had any experiences with those?
Yeah, I mean, they generally work. What I've discovered is that when you have the freeze-dried powdered eggs, they're okay. They're okay. You can basically turn them into an omelet or mix them into stuff or whatever, and that's okay. Maybe you throw a little bit of cheese in there, whatever. But I'm really starting to like their freeze-dried scrambled eggs, and you just rehydrate them and then put them in a skillet, and then now you still have that kind of texture thing, and you're not trying to form mush. You know what I'm saying?
So I hate to be this guy, but we are at our time limit for this episode. You got anything you want to add in here for the listeners before we get out of here?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything there is to cover about everything, and that's what we do here. So.
Okay, great. If you guys haven't already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the show, and we will see you guys back here on another exciting episode of It's Doomsday Podcast.
This is an emergency action message. At approximately 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, NORAD is tracking 15 ICBM nuclear missiles inbound to the following cities: Orlando, Miami, Pittsburgh, Dover, Newark, Richland, Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, Seattle, Detroit. This is an extremely deadly situation. Stay tuned. The next emergency message will be a presidential address.